The Book of Tobit is an intense story. Thankfully, my discussion is going to be short, so it won't include any spoilers. It has a lot of religious implications and symbolism. It does discuss things that are very difficult for humans to explain. There's healings with different materials from the earth, and also Tobit loses his eyesight because of bird droppings, and there's angels. We were talking about the book of Enoch, specifically one guardian angel that is able to transition from being perceived physically to his heavenly form. And there's a lot of faith involved in the book of Tobit. There's a great relationship between the family members, and there's just so much when you read this book that you can think about, and you should compare and contrast your own experience. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And also the experience that you see in other people that are around you right now. And I think that's one of the greatest things of history, is that we can look and see how are things now. The close ties between the family and the people in the family, in-laws, really to be admired. I don't really have a lot of that in my life, and maybe you don't, but you can see how people of faith in those days incorporated God into their existence from day one. And so those really tight bonds were not only prescribed in the Bible, but they were adhered to from the heart of these people that are in the story. It's really a magnificent testimony of just stepping forward and not just being courageous, but rather being faithful and just knowing that God is in charge, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, and just the chance to really receive not only the things of this earth, health and wealth and good relationships and successful ventures, things that we think about when we get up in the morning and strive to do whatever we're going to do for this particular day that we're given, but also just that knowing that we have a connection, and the angels and prayers, those are the connections to God, and that theological aspect of the atmosphere around us, knowing that God is there, knowing that He has an organization that does intercede. Maybe our story isn't as magnificent as Tobit's. Maybe you read the story of Tobit and you think it's completely fiction / mythological. That's fine, but there's still value in the story. Personally, I have no reason to doubt it. It was written in a way that doesn't impart any sort of, how should we say, discrediting information. So it isn't hyper sensationalized and trying to be something more than a report. And if you read it, it does come off as a story, a document, almost like a news story with certain emotional nuance to it. So if you have any questions or discussions, you can just put it in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you have to think about it. Please read it a couple of times. Read it out loud to yourself or someone else and discuss the book. It's really, really an incredible story. It really has meant a lot to me to read it. And obviously it's stood the test of time. May not be in the Bible that you own right now, but as again, we're talking about the way that these things were moved. Think about why the book of Tobit was taken out. Why is that book no longer in the Christian 66 book Bible these days? It's another really great question. I hope you enjoy reading it.